The final episode of Doctor Who Season 1 is nearly here, and it's all been leading to this. For one last time this season, let's take a look at everything to be excited for in Empire of Death. The synopsis tells us that the Doctor has lost, his ageless enemy reigns supreme, and a shadow is falling over creation. Nothing can stop the devastation, except perhaps one woman. Well, first of all, we have something that's not actually in the episode itself, but it's going to be broadcast on BBC4 and BBC iPlayer on the evening of Thursday the 20th of June, so depending on when you're watching this, it's either just about to be on or has just been on. This is going to be a new episode of Tales of the TARDIS, the series that was established last year, which saw past Doctor and companion actors come back to the show and come into this Memory TARDIS set to reflect on a previous adventure. It's basically a snazzy new way to do omnibus editions of classic Doctor Who stories, with some new scenes to bookend them. And this week, very topically, we have an episode based around Pyramids of Mars, the first story to feature Sutekh. This will be an omnibus edition edited down from approximately 100 minutes to about 75, with new scenes from Sutekh, Gatwa and Mel Gibson as the Doctor and Ruby, and it's also going to have some updated visual effects. So if you're in the UK and you haven't experienced Pyramids of Mars before, now is your chance. What a fantastic thing for them to be doing. You know, it's great to have this slap bang in the middle of the two parts of the finale. What a great idea. Speaking of which, The Legend of Ruby Sunday did of course mark the return of Sutekh to the show for the first time in 49 years. The first time since Pyramids of Mars on screen. This timeless Doctor Who villain, the ageless enemy mentioned in the synopsis, the one who waits. And this week we get to see him back in full force for a whole episode. I'm really hoping he's done justice here. I wasn't overly sold on the massive big CGI dog/jackal head redesign that appeared last week. By the sound of things, he's going to be appearing in that form in this story too. I was kind of hoping maybe for the return of the original traditional Sutekh look with the mask, because that mask in particular is just iconic. Maybe the whole CGI redesign will work better in this story when he's not just a head wrapped around the TARDIS. You know, we actually get to see a bit more of his body and the like. I see the vision there, I appreciate the vision, but yeah, I just don't know. The one thing we can guarantee is a fantastic vocal performance from Gabriel Wolfe, the original actor to play Sutekh in 1975 in Pyramids of Mars, who actually returned to Doctor Who in 2006 for the two-parter to play the Beast. And now he's back playing Sutekh again, as he should be. His voice, his chilling delivery of all the lines of dialogue is such a massive part of what made Sutekh, and the Beast for that matter, work. So it's so great to have him back, and he's like 91 as well, so kudos to him. Of course, there'll be more of Ncuti Gatwa as the 15th Doctor in this story, in this, his first season finale. We saw him at the cliffhanger of The Legend of Ruby Sunday, looking very shocked and stunned to see that Sutekh had returned, to see that he'd got the wrong anagram. He'll be back wearing the kind of leather suit and white t-shirt and jeans ensemble that we saw him wearing last week, but there will of course be another costume, at least one other costume, for the Doctor in this story, this monk's habit which hasn't shown up yet. And more generally, this is the 15th Doctor's first encounter with a big bad, his first kind of showdown with a big enemy, the classic Doctor Who enemy as well, the first one to return in his era. So the stakes are high, and there should be some really good material for Ncuti to get his teeth stuck into in this story. Will there be any more developments with the Doctor's granddaughter, Susan, who of course was mentioned last week quite prominently? That was just a red herring in last week's episode, but will it go anywhere else in this story? Who knows? This is also the first finale for Ruby Sunday, played as ever by Mel Gibson, and her story is coming to a head here. So last week, of course, we had that whole sequence set inside Unit's time window chamber. We returned to the church on Ruby Road, and we had a little bit more of a glimpse of what happened that night that Ruby was dropped off there. But there weren't really any new details forthcoming there. We didn't learn anything new about Ruby or her mother or anything like that. That stuff is very much still all to play for. There's one episode left to wrap up this first chapter of Ruby's story. Let's see where it goes. Whatever happens, like with Ncuti, there is bound to be some meaty material for Mel Gibson to get her teeth into here. And 6 months on from the beginning of her story at Christmas, it's going to be nice to finally get some answers. But of course, Ruby won't be the only companion appearing in this story. We also have the 6th and 7th Doctor's former companion, Mel, who appeared last week, who appeared in The Giggle, who appeared in The Power of the Doctor. She is now well and truly part of the furniture of this new era of the show. She's appeared in all those stories. She's working for Unit. She was working for Trias Technology last week undercover, and this week she looks set to also have a big role, showing lots of scenes with the Doctor and Ruby, almost like a kind of temporary TARDIS trio by the look of things. We know from filming and images and trailers and stuff that there's going to be a sequence of the Doctor and Mel escaping Triad Technology headquarters on Mel's Vespa. We saw a little bit of Mel on the Vespa last week, but we have the full sequence to look forward to in this week's episode. Hopefully Bonnie Langford will get some good material too. It is just so great to have Mel back. It's bonkers. And a word for the rest of the cast as well, all these characters and actors who appeared in part 1, who continue to appear in part 2. So we have more Kate Lethbridge-Stewart to look forward to. We're going to be seeing more of Susan Triad and Harriet Arbinger as well, the two kind of acolytes of Sutekh. There's going to be more of Lenny Rush as Morris Gibbons, the brilliant Lenny Rush, more Colonel Ibrahim, more from Corporal Sullivan, more from Ruby's mother and grandmother Carla and Cherry, and of course more from the Vlinks. Now there's one actor who I haven't mentioned there, who's very much gone under the radar and seems to be kind of playing some mysterious role, the role of Kind Woman. This is Sian Clifford, a very famous actor who's been in lots of stuff. For instance, she was Fleabag's sister in Fleabag. And there has been some discussion about this plot thread involving a Kind Woman. I think Russell has said that she's waiting with a vital object on some distant planet. There was also something that Russell said in one of his Doctor Who magazine columns about a year ago about a specific scene in the finale which involves a set build that was created just for that scene and an actor who only appears in that scene as well, a guest star. It's all very intriguing, and I do wonder who this Kind Woman is, whether that is just a nickname, whether there's kind of a more spoilery name for her, or whether she literally is just like a random character, a new character. Whatever the case, as I say, Sian Clifford is a fantastic actor, and it's going to be great to see her in Doctor Who at long last. Also appearing in this story, as revealed by various trailer clips and bits and pieces, is going to be the Memory TARDIS, the set originally created for Tales of the TARDIS, or so we were led to believe. My guess is that the set was actually created for the finale for this story, and was then repurposed for Tales of the TARDIS. So first of all for the Pyramids instalment, filmed at the same time, and then for the 60th one, which were filmed a few months later on. So this is once again a very mysterious component of this story. There was the line of dialogue from the Doctor last week in the time window chamber scene about, what is the memory of a time machine. So I'm guessing that's how the Memory TARDIS comes into existence in universe. I'm guessing Ruby dreams it up in the time window chamber and uses it to kind of rescue the Doctor, and then they kind of use it as like a safe haven to reflect on Sutekh and kind of work out a plan of how to stop him. Of course, when the original Tales of the TARDIS came out in November, we never for a million years thought the set was actually going to be appearing in the show, so that's all very interesting. It's going to be great to finally see it as it was designed to be seen. Let's now tackle two of the biggest mysteries in the show at the moment, one of which I think will get resolved this week, one of which I think won't. So as I said earlier, the mystery surrounding Ruby Sunday's origins has been teased all season, and we haven't got any closer to any answers about her origins or about her birth mother, about who her birth mother was. This week we have to get some answers about that, we have to learn the truth, and I think currently, my current thinking, my current theory, is that Ruby's birth mother isn't anybody particularly special or notable. She's not an existing character from the Doctor Who universe. She is just an ordinary woman, and it'll be a bit of a kind of anticlimax in the way that these things are in real life, in the sense that, she's like a random person. But it will reflect the kind of emotional reality of those real life situations in an authentic way, and there'll be kind of a real emotional reason why Ruby's mother left her at the church, which kind of has nothing to do with Sutekh or anything else. That is the prediction I'm locking in, but let me know your thoughts on the identity of Ruby's mother in the comments below. And finally, the mystery that I think will be carried forward to next year and possibly beyond, the identity of Mrs. Flood, Ruby's neighbour, played brilliantly as ever by Anita Dobson. She made a return to the show last week looking after Cherry while Carla is away at units, and there were some lines there and some line delivery that once again add to the mystery of this character and lead you to believe that she's perhaps up to no good. She certainly kind of seems to know more about certain things than she's letting on. Russell has previously described this mystery as a slow burn, so I'm not expecting it to get resolved this week. I think it will be left hanging somewhat. Maybe there'll be the odd hint or teaser or development here and there, but I think on the whole she's going to remain an enigma for a very long time. What are you looking forward to in Empire of Death? And if you're in the UK, will you be attending any of the cinema screenings to watch it live on the big screen? Let me know all of your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Please give this video a like if you have enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you're new for more stuff like this in the future. But otherwise, until the next one, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.